Hello, folks, and welcome to the Counting Sheep podcast. This is episode 21. It is March 11th, 2024, and coming to you from yet again snowy Vermont. The weather's been awfully strange. It seemed like we had like 6 mud seasons up here, and we were going on our 7th, and then all of a sudden we got some snow. And actually plowable snow. So so we were out there plowing yesterday, and today we still have kind of a little winter wonderland out there, and the wind has picked up. So I don't know, you may or may not hear the wind going. It's making Cooper, my golden retriever, a bit nervous. So you may hear him whining, and I may have to stop this to let him in here. But anyway, that's the weather here in Vermont. Not quite spring yet, but that's okay because we're knitters and crocheters, and we have nice warm clothing to wear. My podcast, if you're new here, welcome, is about crocheting, knitting, spinning, and also anything else I get up to here in my little corner of Vermont. I live on a very small sheep farm. We have 4 sheep and 9 chickens, and we get on some misadventures once in a while. And I like to share that with you. My first topic of discussion is what I'm wearing. This is a pattern by Linda Scuia, and I made this quite a while ago. But I will show you the picture of it first. Linda Scuia is known for her texture in crochet. It's Linda. And then this is mine. I'll back up and stand up here just to show you what this looks like. So lots of texture. I chose to do this in a purple color. And it makes a nice layering garment, especially between these seasons that we have right now, and the weather just really doesn't know what it wants to do. I made this several years ago, and unfortunately the yarn is discontinued. It was a very nice yarn, actually. It was made by Valley Yarns, and that is, if you don't know, the yarn line carried by Webb's. It's their own personal yarn line, and the actual yarn, the base is called Stockbridge. It was a blend of alpaca and wool, and it's a worsted weight yarn, so it's good that I don't have sleeves on. It'd probably be too warm on this garment, at least, especially since it has a lot of texture in it, and it was a fun make. And I'm sorry that yarn is no longer available, but there are a lot of other lovely worsted weight yarns, alpaca blend yarns out there to choose from. So if this is something that you fancy making, it is certainly available, and a lot of choices in yarns available for it. So I encourage you to look into it. Linda Scuia is quite a prolific designer. She just came out with a book. I think I shared this with you on a previous podcast. But this is Crocheted Sweaters with a Textured Twist. So there's 15 patterns in this book altogether. A lot of her patterns, like I said, lots of texture, bobbles, front and back post stitches, lace as well. She puts some lace elements into her patterns. And although I have not made a deep dive into this book yet, I'm loving everything about it, and encourage you to take a look at it yourself if crocheting sweaters is your jam. Certainly she is worth a look-see. As you know, I am making one of her sweaters right now, which is not in this book. I'll get to that later. But she has a real cool aesthetic. A lot of times she delves into elements from nature. So this This one has like this leafy texture to it. And that's called the Rossadu sweater. And then of course, there's this sweater. I just love this. I love how she crisscrosses the texture in this sweater. Yeah, so quite talented, and her patterns are easy to read and follow. Yeah, and that's done in a worsted weight yarn as well. So yeah, so and they work up fast when they're, you know, a worsted weight yarn, as you can imagine. Here's another beauty. This is called the Zeem Earth Sweater. So texture at the top and some on the sweater, the sleeves rather, with some lacy elements, and then you kind of take it easy the rest of the way down. So yeah, so anyway, Crochet Sweaters with a Texture Twist by Linda Scuia. I just wanted to mention her. She's a favorite of mine. Very talented. So anyway, I'm going to get into the regular content. Hopefully I've written everything down here. I was trying to go through my notes from last time. It seemed like I had a really long podcast the last time, but a lot of it was footage from my weekend at Spa. And I did want to share a couple more things that I acquired while I was at Spa, but I'll put that at the end since it's spinning content. All right, so crocheted whips. So since I just spoke about Linda Scuia's sweater, I'm going to start with that one first. This is her goldenrod sweater. So once again, an homage to nature. So you can see the texture there on the sweater, and it looks like flowers or tendrils. And I managed to get to sleeve separation on this one. It's a top down. Let me just get everything untangled here because I stuff things in a bag and things don't go well after that. So anyway, let me just show you what I've got here. So, and here it is. Here is another. I surprised myself because usually I'm not drawn to alpaca that much, you know. But this is another yarn that's no longer available. I'm sorry, folks. It's from Classic Elite Yarns. It's called Telluride. And it is 82% superfine alpaca, 12% linen, and 6% donicule. So there's that. Wow, getting a little blown out here. And so here's the sweater. This is color number, not that it matters, color number 2927. So it's kind of a brownish color. It's got some donicule nips in it, and I couldn't be happier. I've tried it on. The beauty of a crocheted top-down sweater is you can try it on. You can try on any sweater pretty much in crochet because you don't have to put any stitches on hold or so there, yeah, it's coming along nicely. I'm really enjoying the process here. And then the back, pretty much the same. And these flowers will eventually peter out. Beginning, yeah, they peter out and it becomes plain crochet at the bottom. Yeah, so, and there's the yarn up close and personal. So I'm really enjoying that a lot. I'm glad I got to the point of separating the arm for the arms. I probably will be done with the body by next time because this is such a quick crochet project, and then I will start on the sleeves. So just want to show the sleeve separation there. So yeah, that's the Goldenrod Sweater by Linda Scuia. I had the hook in here somewhere. I can't find it right now. You get the idea though. Yeah, so that is that sweater. I had to stop there. I had to let Cooper in. He was kind of getting a little freaked out. So if you hear heavy breathing, that's the dog, Cooper. Anyway, I found the hook, 4.5 for the Goldenrod sweater. So there is that project. So proud of it. So happy with it. All right, so the next thing I want to show you is the Laurel Henley. I made quite a bit of progress on this as well. So let me find a place for this. That looks good down there. Throwing stuff on the floor is always good. Let's see. So if you recall, this is the Laurel Henley. And it's by Tinderbox Designs, otherwise known as Courtney Clark. Ours is in a gray tone there. So a Henley is just kind of like a shirt with that halfway button placket down the front. So, and I have done mine in Jagger Spun sock in the lemon colorway, and I am going to back up because this is going to blow out the camera big time. So here it is. This thing fits so well. I've had it on so many times just to measure the sleeves, and as you can see, I have been able to get the body done. Tried it on. I like the length there. It is a shirt after all, so it's not going to be like your typical sweater length, at least not for me since I'm short. And the longer the sweater, the ill-fitting it looks on me. So I tend to go with shorter rather than longer. I managed to get the right sleeve done, and I'm about to embark on the left sleeve. This sweater, or Henley project, just by the nature of the stitch that you're doing here, which is a linked double crochet, really gives it a lot of great texture. So I'm going to just come closer a little bit so you can see this texture. And thankfully it's not blowing out too badly. Yeah, so I'm really loving it. And this yarn is next to skin soft. It really, I've had, for as many times as I've had it on, there's no irritation or scratchiness or itchiness at all in this particular yarn. So yeah, it's really coming out nice. I do have the buttons for it. I did not, actually I did bring them up here, but they're buried in a bag somewhere. So I'm gonna hold off showing you the buttons that I have for this, simply because they're going to be hard to find. But they're wooden buttons that I was able to purchase from an Etsy seller, and I will give those details out when I finish this. So, and when I actually have the buttons on the actual garment itself. So yeah, really pleased with this. Wonderful pattern, well written. Walks you through every step. So I'm trying to think if there's anything. 3.5 millimeter hook, which is an E for those following the American system. And yeah, lemon colorway, Jagger Spun. I have a little bit of the fourth ball left, but I think what I will do is just wind up the fifth skein and go from there rather than have another two ends to work under. So yeah, there you go. Ha! So happy with that. It's so nice to be happy with a project, for sure. Okay, I lied. I do have the bag up here. Just want to show off. This is Jagger Spun in the skein. And I'm just going to show you the buttons I got. This was such a great seller too. The buttons got, the first order of buttons got lost in the mail somewhere. I kept watching the tracking on it, and it just, yeah, it just got stuck somewhere. So I notified the seller, and she sent one out right away. It was here in 2 days. So. But yeah, these have, I'm not sure you're going to be able to see it, but these have Trail of Life on them. Yeah. And they're 1/2-inch buttons, which is what's required of the pattern. So, but like I said, you're probably going to see this better once they're on the garment. So I'm going to save them for later, and also the seller's information as well. So All right, so that is the Laurel Henley, and highly recommend. And I'm going to move right on to the Genin. And if you recall last time, this is a pattern from Mort magazine number 3, and the designer is Abby Maid. And let me show you the picture. So there we have it. Yeah. It's okay. It's okay. He's really, Cooper's down here, and there's snow falling off our roof. We have a metal roof, and as soon as it warms up to any great degree, the snow comes off in slabs, and we don't know how he acquired this fear of that sound coming. He must have gotten nailed at some point by snow coming off the roof, and so now he has this fear, and every time he hears that noise he gets really upset. So, and usually all it takes is for me to tell him he's okay, and he usually settles down. So alright, so on to the Genin. Sorry about that interruption. Let me just show you, first of all, well, I did show you the sweater there, and I did end up frogging it and starting over, and I'm so happy I did. I really wasn't happy with the placement of the baubles, and you'll see that I'm doing a much better job at it now. I may have not gotten as far as the last time, but yeah, I'm enjoying it a lot more. So this is the top, of course, and this is also kind of a round yoke, top down, try on as you go type of thing. So yeah, this is Tunisian crochet, and this is my hook here, and it's done in the round, but it's not a connected round. So anyway, so you do need this cable, because that's when you reach the end of the round, you do have quite a few stitches on the needle, so, or on the cord. So yeah, I have some markers here to mark where the increases are, and I'm tooling right along again, and this time I think I have a better understanding of the pattern and how to place the popcorns. I think she calls them popcorns, if I'm not mistaken. Popcorns, baubles, there's a difference in the nomenclature and how you actually make, yeah, she calls these baubles. So these are baubles, not popcorns. A little bauble there. I'm trying to make mine pretty much in that yellow color that comes along every so now and then. So there you go. So that's the Genin. I'm working on that. This is the fiber is called Blue Barn Fiber, and it's from Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. And yeah, this is what it looks like in the skein. So you can see there's this big long repeat here, but the rest of it is pretty much the other color, the teal, which is stunning, stunning, stunning. Yeah, and so I will keep you updated on the progress with that. I'm liking that a lot, enjoying that a lot as well. All right, and then I just wanted to update you on the Janie joggers. If you recall, I bought some more Jagger Spun yarn in this colorway. They call this colorway, let's see, River Walk. So that's River Walk. And I did swatch for it because at one point I was tired of doing the sweaters this week and just wanted to swatch for a new project. I didn't start them, but she has you do 2 different swatches, one in single crochet and one in double crochet, just to check. And this is done, here's the ball, River Walk, all balled up. This is done on a C hook, which is a 2.75 millimeters, so tiny hook. Not the tiniest, of course, but small. And then these are the Janie joggers, if you recall. And then these are my swatches. So let me just take the one off here. I have to take both of them off. So this is the single crochet one. It's nice to see how the color is going to pool, you know. And then this is the double crochet one, which if you look at both of them side by side, like almost totally different, right? So you get that kind of interesting contrast. The single crochet is used in the waistband, so a part that won't be seen all that much. And then this is in the leg pattern. Yeah, so kind of cool. I like that a lot. And yeah, so we shall see as we move forward with those. But I just wanted to share that because those are kind of fun. And yeah, that's probably going to be a long-term project since it's done on such a small hook and a small gauge, you know, yarn. So, all right, I'm going to put Jean in away. Put that away. I mentioned the Riley socks in other past podcasts, and if you remember, I haven't gotten anything done on these. I think I just don't have the brain space to try to figure out the gauge on them right now because if you recall, they wouldn't go over my heel, so I had to frog them back. And I think all it requires is figuring out how much bigger a hook size I need to go up to. And since I was working on sweaters and and all sorts of other things this week, or these past 2 weeks, I haven't really had the brain space to figure that one out. But I'm going to put them on the back burner for now. Stay tuned, and we will revisit that, hopefully. I wanted to show you something just really briefly. I partook in a kind of Zoom meeting of a designer out of the UK. Her name is Carrie Lord, and there's a yarn shop out in Colorado called Longmont Yarn Shop who sponsors these kind of Zoom meetups or meetings of designers and whatnot. It started during the pandemic, and so they just are continuing onward. And last Sunday I was able to sign up to listen to Carrie Lord, who, if you don't know, is author of Edward's Menagerie. So these lovely books. I own 2, but she has several more. I think she's branched out into vegetables now and that sort of thing because she's become quite the gardener since the pandemic. But that's her first one. And then this one is the new collection that came out a little while later. She's been doing this for 10 years now. Can you believe it? And I encountered her kits quite a while ago. And then when I was in England before the pandemic, at one of their yarn festivals over there called Yarndale, she was well represented in, you know, the crocheted stuffy world. So, yeah. And so at the end of the program, the 1-hour program or the talk she gave all of the participants a free copy of her bunny pattern. And I want to just show you the bunny real quick. Just in time for Easter, as you can imagine. And the timing is apropos. Yeah, but she has some really great designs. I should check her out. Emma the bunny. Here's Emma the bunny. Obviously, I have the pattern already, so... but yeah, it's so cute. And I started it in some yarn that was left over from another project, but I only have one leg done so far. Let me just show you the leg here. But you know, some of the tips and tricks she gave were so good, even for people who have been, you know, crocheting for the past, you know, millennia like I have. She really there's always something to learn from somebody else, no matter what your skill level. And just the use of this, you know, way of marking your rounds rather than putting a stitch marker, and is so good because if, God forbid, you have to rip all the way back to here, you start to lose where the first stitch of the round is. I know I do. So, but yeah, so I'm hoping to get this done by Easter, because after all, it is an Easter bunny, or it's a bunny. But yeah, give her a look. She is quite talented, and she said that you know, when she goes to shows and puts her wares out, she always gets some person coming up to her, well, have you done this animal, or have you done this animal? And you know, if she hasn't, she writes it down. And so she's acquired quite a few animals, and very few that she hasn't done. So so yeah, very, very talented. And she just started doing this while she was pregnant with her son 12 years ago or something, just to have some stuffies for her baby, and it's grown into such a great business. I just love it, you know. So I thought I'd just mention Edward's Menagerie, because it certainly deserves a mention in the crochet world. So, all right, where am I? Okay, enough with the crocheting. Let's go on to knitting. And I have an update on my ranunculus, if I can find it here. I know I brought it up here. Here it is. It's okay. Push it down. Pull it down, baby. You're okay. All right. So I don't know if there's anybody out there in the world that doesn't know what the ranunculus is by now. And I swore I was the only one who hadn't knitted one yet, but then was assured that no, that wasn't the case. So anyway, this is the ranunculus. Sorry, it's a black and white picture, but it's been knit I don't know how many thousands of times by I don't know how many thousands of knitters. And I managed, I'm taking this, I'm actually doing this along with Pam Grushkin, who is a knitting instructor who does Zoom classes. And she's at pamgrushkinknits.com. And we have our last Zoom class coming up tomorrow night, Tuesday. And we were to have the body done so that we could start on the sleeves with her tomorrow night. And I'm happy to report that that is the case. So it's no wonder I didn't get any socks done. So anyway, here we are. Once again, top down. You can try on as you go, which is great. And just up close and personal on the texture as well as lace that is in the yoke. Yeah, and a nice long ribbing at the bottom. And then I used Jenny's surprisingly stretchy bind off, and I'm here to report that it is. One of the tips that Pam gave us was to go down half your needle size in order to do this bind off, and it keeps it neater. Otherwise it gets too splayed out and it doesn't look as neat. So this yarn is from Hope Made Yarn Co. And it's her Splendid DK base. And the colorway name is Sweater Weather. Sweater Weather. I always get kind of gummed up saying that. This is it in the ball. And I have this much left for the sleeves. I'm thinking of doing just, you know, down to the elbow sleeves. So I should pretty much have more than enough here. But yeah, I'm glad I went with this, because I wasn't gonna make a ranunculus just because it was so popular. And I tend to not go with the popular so much. But yeah, it's a nice make. So if you're looking for a nice top-down raglan with a pattern that has been tried, true, and tested, that is a winner for you. So, all right. And then the other knitting thing I wanted to show you was my halftone, and that's in this bag. And I haven't got quite far with this, but I just want to show you how far I did. This is another top-down kind of make sweater, top-down sweater. And it has some color work in the middle. And I'm doing mine in J&S 2-ply. So that's Jamieson and Smith's. Woo. And this is color number FC37 mix. And then the bottom color is 203, which is this lovely gray. And I have a cone of this. And I will probably get 2 sweaters out of this easily. This is a fingering weight yarn, and I am on a number 3 needle, and this is how it's looking right now. I am almost there, almost to the sleeve separation, but since it is, as you can imagine, a fingering weight yarn and number 3 needles, it's taking quite a while to get to where you need to be. So. But it's all knitting is good knitting, right? So yeah, this is going to be quite the good project once it's all. I can't wait to get to the color work. So yeah, there are the 2 together. Yeah, so enjoying that quite a bit. All right, so just one more thing in knitting. I was able to acquire a sock set from the Woolly Thistle called the Hearth Sock Set from Woolly Mammoth, and I will put a picture in here of the actual kit, or they packaged it so nicely, so I had to take a picture of it before I actually separated it out and wound it into balls. And this is what it looks like wound up. Actually, this is they call this mustard, I think. The mustard colorway. Yeah. And this is from Northern Ireland, dyed in Northern Ireland. The fiber origin is the UK. I'll just take the rubber band off of this lovely Hearth sock set. So there you go, it's like a gray and then this mustard. And I am planning on doing the jelly bean socks from this book, 99 Yarns and Counting. This is, if you don't know, Green Mountain Spinnery's second book of patterns. Green Mountain Spinnery is south of me, about 45 minutes down the interstate in Putney, Vermont. And they have been spinning yarn in their mill since the 70s. It is a co-op, it's employee owned, and this particular pattern in here, let me just cover this up here. So this is the Jelly Bean Socks by Maureen Clark, and I'm happy to be able to call Maureen a longtime friend. I've known her many, many years, and she's a wonderful designer. And I'm not sure if you can pick up on the texture on those socks, but it's a very simple pattern, but it really is very textured and lovely. So I am planning on doing those in this color combination. I'm thinking that I'm going to have better luck making some knitted socks right now. Crochet Sock Mojo is kind of stagnant, so as you can imagine. And so yeah, I'm gonna give those a go and see if we can get those on the needles this week. So just some planned projects, some things I'm thinking about, things that are percolating in the background. So so on to spinning. I just wanted to make mention of a wonderful acquisition I was able to make while I was up at SPA, which is the knitting, spinning, crocheting, fiber weekend that I was at several weeks ago in Freeport, Maine. Had a wonderful time there, and I actually, with the help of my friend Tammy, was able to acquire a used e-spinner. And if you don't know, the E in e-spinner refers to electricity rather than electronic or whatever, tech word you want to insert there. So it just means that you don't have to treadle. You plug the e-spinner in, and as soon as you turn it on, it does all of the mechanical work, and all you need to do is the actual draw work, so drawing out the fibers to spin. And unfortunately, this particular e-spinner that I was able to acquire was being sold by someone for someone who had to go into assisted living due to the advancement of multiple sclerosis. And I was thinking how, I don't know, serendipitous it was, because apparently March is multiple sclerosis awareness month. And I just thought that was such a, interesting moment, or interesting acquirement at this time, that the person who was selling it to me said, "You're really helping this individual out." And so I was feeling kind of mixed feelings about it. I was sad that this individual could no longer spin, which obviously brings a lot of people enjoyment, me included. And yet I was also happy that I was kind of helping her out. So it's kind of weird, weird feelings about that. But I'm waxing philosophical on the acquisition of used equipment. This e-spinner is an Ashford e-spinner, and I will put a picture of it in here, and I will also put some footage at the end of me spinning on it. It came with 5 other bobbins, or 6 bobbins, and the only thing that I would have liked to have with it, and this is no big deal because I have enough bags, but those e-spinners come with a nice padded bag, and this one did not have it with it. But I have since found in my house a nice huge LL Bean boat tote, which it fits lovely in, and all of the accessories fit in as well. So I'm very fortunate that that I was able to pick that up, and also help somebody else out. So I just wanted to share that with you. The other spinning thing I picked up while I was up at Spa was from one of the vendors, and we were able to meet her informally on Friday night. She just came over to where we were sitting and asked if she could join us. And her name is Katie from Katrinkles. And she wanted to join us and asked if she could spin with us, or we were knitting at the time, and we were, it's Spa. Anybody can pull up a chair anywhere and join anyone. So, but anyway, I purchased, from watching her spin on her own manufactured Turkish drop spindle, I went over and got her kit. Now this kit you can put together, as you can see on the front, any size Turkish spindle you want, with any size arm that you want. Ingenious. I love it. I love the whole concept of it. So just want to show you kind of the parts and pieces here without spilling it. So and her company makes all sorts of knitters, crocheter tools, as well as spinners tools. And she was such a delight to be with and talk to. And my friend Tammy and I stopped by her booth several times during the weekend just to say hello, and wonderful, wonderful person. She hails from Rhode Island. She was there with her husband at her booth. And as you can see, I got started on my own fiber. Actually, the fiber that I bought at Spa, and I need to share this with you too because this is from camel. This is an actual, and the fiber is to die for. It is really, really soft, and I love the color. And this is from Dirty Water Dye Works, and she's in Boston, Stephanie. It's called Superfine Camel, and it's 4 ounces. So. And I know she has some left, I think. If she doesn't, she can get it. So, but yeah, this is just buttery soft, lovely to just handle. And when I purchased this and then purchased Katie's spindle, I had to start right away. And then I went and showed Katie what I had been doing on her spindle, and she goes, "Oh, can I try?" So, because she wanted to try the fiber out on her spindle, and I said, "Go right ahead." You know, I said, "You're a far better spindle spinner than I am." But yeah, she was instantly hooked as well. So yeah, spinning on a spindle, a Turkish spindle, and so happy to have made those 2 acquisitions from the vendors there at Spa. All right, I think that's it for me this time. I know I'm getting dry in the throat, so that means I probably should shut up soon. I have another event that I'm going to at the end of this month. The last weekend in March, there's going to be just kind of a fibery weekend up at Highland Lodge, and I think it's already sold out, but it's Highland Lodge is up in the Northeast Kingdom, which is even more remote than where I live here in Vermont. And so it's a beautiful lodge, and it's just a nice weekend of makers getting together and just doing whatever they want, knitting, spinning, crocheting, whatever. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to that and sharing that with you. But I think I have another podcast before that, so I think. So yeah, we'll speak before that time. So that's it for me. Until the next time, take care of yourselves, keep crafting, be kind to yourself, and I will see you then. Bye.